Imagine waking up every day feeling like you're stuck in a loop. The endless chase for venture capital meetings, the rehearsed pitches, the forced smiles, the grinding stress of proving you're worthy, all while the clock is mercilessly ticking. You know your startup has the potential to shake the world, to create real change, but the reality? It feels like the whole system is built to make you beg, to make you small, to fit inside someone else's box. The pitch decks, the slides, the buzzwords, they don't capture the fire you carry inside. You feel it, right? That pit in your stomach every time you prepare to sell your dream to somebody who sees you as just a number, not a human with a vision. You're drowning in a world that demands you shrink, pivot, justify, but never breathe your own air. How long can this go on until you're empty? Until your passion burns out, consumed by the exhausting circus of chasing VC money that might never come? But what if the whole game is broken? What if the very thing everyone tells you is necessary? Pitching to venture capitalists, raising rounds, the endless dances at demo days, what if that's just a trap? A shiny cage disguised as opportunity? Nobody talks about it loud enough, but the truth is stark. Millions of startups get obsessed with the pitch, thinking it's the only path, and most fall. Some burn out, some compromise everything they believe in just to look acceptable on a spreadsheet. It's no wonder so many feel lost, disillusioned, or come out the other side with nothing but a hollow victory and a soul emptied of meaning. You feel the pressure. The world tells you if you can't raise lots of money fast, you're a failure. That if you don't hustle the VCs, your idea is worthless. But deep down, you know that chasing investors like a desperate suitor isn't why you started this. That your vision deserves more than begging for scraps. You want freedom, you want power, you want to build on your own terms, not theirs. Listen, the biggest secret nobody loudly admits is this. You don't have to pitch to VCs to survive, to thrive, to change the world. In fact, the most powerful startups, the ones that move beyond the noise, that last beyond the hype, many of them never even pitch a dime to traditional venture capital. They're out there building in the shadows, creating ecosystems that don't worship the highest dollar, that don't sell out their mission for a quick infusion of cash. They're shaping markets that are sustainable, aligned, and real. How? How do they do it when the rest of the world is screaming at you to play the same old script? By breaking free, by becoming sovereign over their own destiny. They refuse to hold their hand out and say, "Please invest in me." Instead, they say, "I am the power. I create value on my terms." They find their customers first, build their communities first, prove their worth by what they create without asking permission. They hustle with heart, not with a begging bowl. They build with patience, ruthless patience. Not the greed-driven race against time that the funding system pressures you into. This patience is a muscle forged in fire. It's a choice to grow deep roots, to own every inch of the journey with pride, and to reject the illusion that fast money equals fast success. They don't chase the crowd, they build the edge. Because that's where true progress lives, not in following trends or hopping on popular bandwagons. They realize that value isn't defined by a check, it's defined by impact, and that impact blooms from connection. Not the surface-level networking you see at conferences, but deep, brutal, real connection with customers, partners, collaborators who get what you're about, people who share your fire and strengthen your resolve. These founders build autonomous systems around their startups. They create networks where ideas grow organically, unpoliced by gatekeepers who demand control. They use alternative paths, revenues first, community support, smart partnerships, decentralized funding, sometimes even self-funding with a fierce sense of ownership. Each move they make is a choice to align with those few who match their intensity instead of trying to please the many. They become magnets for the right people, not for anybody willing to pitch a dollar. Imagine a startup humming with energy, alive and raw, not wrapped in spreadsheet conformance, but fueled by radical authenticity. Where every decision isn't about how to impress a stranger, but how to amplify the core mission. where the team isn't a bunch of hired hands but co-creators bonded by shared fire, crafting something new they can call their own. That is real freedom. That is the power waiting for those ready to break chains. Now, this doesn't mean it's easy. Far from it. It means choosing the less traveled road, the one without easy guarantees or shiny shortcuts. It demands that you learn to love uncertainty, to wield skepticism like armor, and to unlearn every lie the traditional system has fed you about what success should look like. It means you have to be critical, patient, and fearless, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. You have to build not just a business, but a fortress of ideas, one that does not crumble when money doesn't flow easily, or when critics scream that you're not scaling fast enough. Because scaling is one word: sustainability, autonomy, and resilience. Those are the words that should shape your startup's heartbeat. Here's what every founder should know. Investors are an option, not a necessity. They are not the gatekeeper to your potential. Your startup's throne isn't held hostage by checks from strangers in suits. The throne belongs to the people creating real change, unapologetically on their own terms. Those who see beyond the comfortable lie that the system sells to them every day. Forget about chasing the noise. Focus on creating value that speaks louder than any pitch. Build a tribe that believes so deeply in your vision that funding flows naturally from the relationships you nurture, not from frightened desperation. Find collaborative allies who challenge you and magnify your strengths, not people who want to own you. This path is raw, real, and full of tension, but it is freedom, deep and unshakable. It's the kind of power that comes not from convenience, but from being uncomfortably alive. It asks you to embrace your sovereignty with no apologies, to stop living a borrowed life, and to forge a reality only you can dream into existence. There's a force in you, and maybe it's been buried beneath years of false promises and systemic illusions. But it's there. This startup life, the one without VC pitches, without desperate fundraising rounds, without fitting into molds that crush your soul, it's waiting for those who dare to be different. Those who would rather burn than bend, those who don't just want to survive, but to transcend. The world is always going to tell you the same old story about what's possible, what's smart, and what's necessary. But real change, the kind you're capable of, comes when you tear up that script, when you stop asking for permission and start commanding your own space, when you say, I don't need you to believe in me on your timeline because I'm building on mine. If there's one thing all great founders, investors, and leaders share, it's this. They don't settle for noise. They amplify essence, not by following the crowd, but by carving their own path. They build networks of brilliance, not complacency. They look for the few who burn as intensely as they do, not the many who only make noise. So the question isn't, can a startup thrive without pitching a VC? The real question is, are you ready to unlearn everything you've been sold about what success means? Are you ready to stop being a prisoner of illusion and start claiming your power? To find those few who will walk with you, not on your knees but standing tall, fiercely alive, unstoppable. This is bigger than money. This is the future. The future belongs to those who understand that freedom is practiced, not preached. That sovereignty is the weapon to build with. That patient, transformative action will reshape what it means to be successful. If that fire inside you won't settle for the chorus of noise and empty promises, then take this as a sign. The network you need, the mindset you crave, the strategies that truly scale your essence, they're waiting. You're not meant to beg at gates. You're born to build your own kingdom. No pitch decks, no borrowed dreams, just your vision, your tribe, your power, uncompromised, unstoppable, unshaken. Start building that world today. Now,